Gray State depicts the rise and fall of a American hybrid, a visionary filmmaker, a political activist, an Iraq veteran, a family man who is slowly driven into insanity by the accumulated forces of modern American culture. I've always been fascinated with self-generated documentaries. I produced Grizzly Man in 2005, which documented a man's depiction of his spiraling into madness in the world around him, and for 10 years was looking for a project that had that same kind of power and potential impact. And when I heard about the death of Treadwell and his family, I went online and I saw the material that he had posted online, the material that he thought was ready for the world, promoting his film and his life. And I was mesmerized and bowled over because the things he was putting online made me think, my God, if this is what he wants to share with the world, what is locked up in his hard drives? The quest began. Well, a poet once said, the purest products of America go crazy. And David Crowley went crazy, and David Crowley documented his own life and did it in such a way that makes me feel he knew that there was an ultimate end use for the thing. And he composed the music, he did his selfies, and I'm going to pull up my silenced phone. He didn't do selfies like this. He did selfies like this, 16:9 ratio. And even humble family movies you can see in the film if you watch closely. He is talking to his wife and he puts the selfie down and you can hear him rustling papers and propping it up so he has the perfect aspect ratio. And you're thinking, why would he do this? What was he thinking? Why is he documenting this? Like Grizzly Man, we had a team of 5 people who were looking for interesting things in the Treadwell material, which was about 90 hours. And in this project, I went through everything, and I had a small team of editors who were putting together the various sequences from Crowley's archive. So we just sort of saw what was there, and then we became familiar with this vast amount of footage. And every time we would just make these discoveries. There's this footage that he shot, we called it the basement tape, where he's in the basement of his home acting out scenes from Transformers with a beautiful, just this madness scene. And it's a Travis Bickle moment. It was just such an amazing scene, and he shot 3 of them. What Werner Herzog brought to this project for me was a constant reassurance that I wasn't completely crazy in pursuing this project. And the problem is, if you're looking to Werner Herzog for a reality check on craziness, you may be kind of in the wrong orbit. But he was tremendously supportive and really liked the film and reassured me that the tree I was barking up was the right tree. Politically, it's a core sample of American crazy. It's not just the politics, it's the selfie culture, it's the narcissistic idea that I can make a Hollywood movie in my backyard with my friends and I'm going to sell it. I can become a YouTube star. I can shift religions multiple times into spiritual awareness and believe that there's demons possessing, my wife. It's this strange epicenter of all of these different things that define America today, sadly. So it's less about the politics. If Trump is the symptom, I think this film is about the disease. I think it's in some ways a cautionary tale. I think people should think twice before putting on Facebook. I think they should think twice about how they manage their lives to the outside world. I think they should think twice about what news sites they read. I think it's a cautionary tale in some way. And the fact that there is no, I call this the feel-bad film of 2017. There is no easy, tidy ending where everything sorts out, we all sing Kumbaya, and the Wookiee gets a medal at the end of the film. It's not that. It's meant to be chewed over. It's meant to be watched twice. It's meant to be dissected. It's meant to be analyzed. And anyone's analysis of what happened is probably as good as mine. What we've done is tried to present, in essence, the story in as true a fashion as we can and let the audience or the viewer decide what they take away from it.
You rolling? You rolling?
Yeah, we're good.
This is John Wannick of the Resistance. I don't know how far this broadcast will reach. They've taken the city. They're trying to erase us. Now more than ever, we need you to act. And if you're receiving this message, you've been recruited. Welcome to the fight, Patriot. Yeah, fight! Our enemies are moving in, and they anticipate us not having the numbers to resist. It is up to you to prove them wrong. Get this message out, and wake up the Patriots! I don't need to remind you what would happen should we fail. One of these days could be our last. By helping and taking action and contributing to the cause, you'll be remembered as taking a stand against the gray state before it completely destroys everything we know. You're inside! Most of us die pointlessly and are forgotten. Do you really want to die without making a sound? Either stand now or kneel forever! You alright? I think he's coming? He's dead. Keep rolling! There are only days left. The gloves are off, the safeties are off. If you're looking for a sign, this is it. Diplomacy is over. War is here. If we don't make this happen, history will not remember us! This is awesome. I love it.
How's it going, everybody? Danny Mason with Gray State. Just letting you guys know that we beat the storm. We just shot our final scene for new footage for Gray State. But most importantly, what we want to do is give a shout out to our sponsor for this incredible piece of steel, the Tomahawk.
A special thanks to our sponsor, Laconian Bladecraft, for this awesome piece of machinery that the character of John Wannick will no doubt carry in the feature film. In the meantime, we made some good work with it, and looking forward to showing you guys the results. Check out this website to find out more about Laconian Bladecraft, and we definitely love our sponsors, so if you're considering becoming a Gray State sponsor, lending your craft to the production, email us at sponsors@graystatemovie.com, and stay tuned for more, guys.
What is Gray State?
Gray State is less a movie than it is a warning. We do not live in a dictatorship, but we do live in a police state. What we're going to see is the unveiling of this gray state foisted upon America. Americans believe that they can't do anything. And day by day, they're becoming correct. It's a game of numbers, and we're losing.
And there's something about it that just kind of gets on you and you just can't wash it off.
Credibility means nothing to me. What I care about is truth.
I don't think you're missing anything. The only thing you're missing is why.
If a character has a desire, that means he often has a competing internal desire, which often comes from a past trauma that usually is explained at the midpoint. It becomes very scientific and very methodical, but that doesn't mean it's any easier to create. So I'll have certain colors that represent when the character will acknowledge his inner trauma. Gray State is shot everywhere, but mostly it's shot in a studio. But you'd never know looking at the footage. All this buzz that people have for Gray State, we didn't start it. The story is, the farther down you go, the story becomes bigger and it involves more people. It involves generations and generations of Americans and everyone else playing their part leading up to this moment. So yes, once you begin to connect these dots, there's no way you can't tell a story about it.
What is Gray State?
Gray State is less a movie than it is a warning. We do not live in a dictatorship, but we do live in a police state. What we're going to see is the unveiling of this gray state foisted upon America. The thing that you have to begin to understand about conspiracy theory is that at some point, it's no longer theory. You talk about peak oil, you talk about FEMA camps, you talk about global warming, you talk about the UN, you talk about the NWO. They're prepping for megadeath.
Last night's declaration of martial law.
Once the red carpet gets rolled out for this New World Order program, everything is free game. The bastard of it all is that you've heard of everything. Americans believe that they can't do anything. And day by day, they're becoming correct. It's a game of numbers, and we're losing.
Cut crew.
We cut crew from the budget.
You had a budget?
See, now you're hitting on my main point.
The really cool thing about Gray State is that what we're doing it from the standpoint of the marketing and taking our time and gathering our resources and getting ready to push it at the right moment is something that most films around the Twin Cities aren't doing.
Out in Hollywood or out in New York or Chicago, whatever. They do these things. Around here, nobody does that.
I'm really impressed with the marketing aspect of Gray State. The photos look amazingly professional. The website looks incredible. All of these things lend a professionalism and a high production value to something that isn't even made yet, that attracts attention. It demands attention. The more that Dave and Mitch apply their knowledge to the marketing aspects, it makes it comparable to huge budget features, and it draws the eye.
The trailer is almost secondary to the concept push itself. We are generating something like 25 behind-the-scenes videos. They're pushing this concept, showing that, yeah, we planned for this, and we did this, and this is what we get. And this is with no budget. And we've already passed a lot of local films on Facebook in popularity, and we're in hibernation. If we approach an investor with a completed trailer and we have 10,000 Facebook fans, you know, a movement behind it, that's already a sale.
Filmmakers have not been able to utilize the resources that they can through Facebook and the marketing aspect on it and figuring out, first off, who's your demographic? Who's your niche? How are you going to contact the people who actually have deep pockets? What's your plan of taking the film to the next level? How are you going to be able to distribute it? How are you going to get in contact with those people?
It's a big marketing package. And we hand these, like, go to a potential investor or something like that. We give them these things like, this is what we have done, this is what we are prepared to do, how dedicated we are to this project, and with your help, we can make this project.
Conversations I've had with other actors and other directors, we've talked about the detail and how much time and effort is going into just a trailer.
Most concept trailers never see the light of day or never really get off the ground, let alone you're putting a lot of funding and money into a product that you're hoping to lead to the actual production of the film itself.
A lot of work has gone into the concept trailer because they're looking to sort of show this as a very wide concept, a very big, broad-based concept that envelops an entire country. So it's going to take a lot of work. These things definitely take time.
It's all about the quality. It's not about the quantity. And this is where people get really confused because a lot of filmmakers are like, well, I'm going to pump out films like this, shorts, boom, boom. And when they do that, it's like this.
I think so much work has gone into a concept trailer because they believe in what they're writing about.
I know with David and Mitch as filmmakers, they wanted to do a lot of things and they wanted to push the barrier and the envelope as much as possible.
There's a ton of detail, a lot of footage, a lot of options to do a lot of different things. And in addition to just one standard trailer, there's huge opportunity to do ongoing promotion.
If you guys putting this much effort into it, then you care about what the story's going to be, and to me that's the most important thing.
The mistake I think a lot of film producers and directors make is that they send it out and it's kind of send it out and they will watch it, and maybe they will, but the way Facebook and the internet works, things are there and gone in a millisecond. So you really have to put together a campaign to get that information out there.
All this buzz that people have for Gray State, we didn't start it. You know, we just started shooting. We started doing a scene here, a scene there, involving people that we wanted, and it just generated from there.
It was crazy. We didn't do anything to hype the film at all. All the hype has come from people being on set.
The people who have worked on Gray State already are like evangelists. I kid you not.
The more people that were brought on to Gray State, the more they started talking about it and publicizing it, and it just became this huge buzz. Like, tell me more about Gray State. Hey, how can I get on that set?
People working on feature films being shot during the same time. The cast and crew on that feature film was talking about Gray State.
I think everybody's in anticipation.
But we knew we had to use that hype for our own good and push that because we knew it being successful was going to be built on word of mouth and grassroots.
The things that we're showing, the things that we're saying are appealing to people, It's making it a very popular idea.
I think people are finally seeing a film that it's a direct reflection of what reality is actually becoming. And I think people are, at this point, are extremely happy and excited for a project like this to show that.
I think there's a huge amount of potential for the Gray State idea. The incredible professionalism of the shoot, the really awesome look of the trailer. I think it's going to get some attention, and I think it's going to get some budgetary attention, some financial attention, which it really deserves.
I think Gray State would definitely run into some problems because they're pushing the envelope. With anything that's pushing the envelope or trying to get a message out there that maybe not everybody agrees with, you're going to have some things you run in with.
I think it's going to go over well with whomever you show it to.
I think it'll go over well with them. Whether they want to actually give us money to do it, who knows?
The way that it's being done, I mean, the interviews, doing a trailer and not just shooting the feature, we can get investors interested in the project so that we can get funding, so that we can actually make something that's great.
We're saying, well, anyone can make a movie these days because for $3,000 you get pro quality gear. Well, yeah, it's all what you do with it. A tube of paint is cheap, but not everyone's Picasso. So.
Because in this day and age, not only are we talking about creating an effective story, but this story can only be produced if it's got the financial backing to create it.
I'd like to see him get it made and have it actually go somewhere and be noticed as being something that got made in Minnesota. And wow, they pulled something off with nothing.
Is immensely ambitious and requires a great deal of financial backing, let's be honest. So they understand that a good concept marketing piece like a trailer with posters and websites, distribution ideas, really the effectiveness of how they can create the story, knowing all that ahead of time so that they can offer this to investors so that they know that what they're investing in knows what they're doing and will immediately not have any question about any aspect of the production. David and Mitch and Danny have already answered those questions for any investor that has them.
Hopefully we get some fantastic funding so we can make a bomb movie.
And we can. There's no doubt in my mind. There's enough resources here and talent to actually do it.
My idea on doing films in the Twin Cities is pretty much this is our home, and we can do everything that they can do on the West Coast. And now all we have to do is show them that we can do it. We obviously have the talent, we have the people in Minnesota, we have the military group, Bullet Exchange, we have open air action design, we have great camera people, great directors, great production companies. All we have to do is come together and show that we can do exactly what they do out there. And to have all those pieces kind of come together for a local film and to work that great really surprised me and made me happy too, because that's obviously our ultimate goal.
It'd be fun to see the finished product.
Oh, it's going to be great. People are going to love it, they're going to get some funding, and then we're all going to get a job. Woohoo!
It's a professional, intelligent film. It's groundbreaking on what it's trying to do, from the visual aspect to the storytelling to the production.
I'd like the feature to be so good that people outside of Minneapolis are like, wow, again, because I don't think that anybody ever says wow when they think of Minneapolis.
Gray State is making waves. This is just within the regional aspect. This is before we start doing our national.
We have generated this concept that has resonated with people. With just the promise of a concept trailer, we're competing with other local feature films that have already got their budget, already shot, and they're on the downslope already. We're looking at the upslope.
I can't see Gray State not being a success. It's definitely gonna knock it out of the park.
It will get funded, it will be shot, and it will be made.
This is the rise. We're just starting out. That is my favorite part about Gray State, is that I hardly need to sell the concept.
Oh, working on Gray State was such a positive experience, and I was so glad to be a part of it. And I hope, sincerely, that we can move on to a feature film where I can work with these guys day in and day out and be a part of a really exciting process.